Gina,
Nice to meet you.
nice meeting you. So, you wrote this book, and I looked at it, and it says "The Daughter of Africa: An Autobiography." If you don't mind, not spoiling your business, but I know people was going to buy this book to read. What's the book all about?
The book's about my story and really about the diversity of the continent to show that, people from Africa can be your color, they can be my color, they can be different religions, and we're all Africans. And so for me, writing my book was very empowering, and I really hope it'll be the bridge to getting other women on the continent to tell their stories, because we have some very fascinating stories.
So, at the press briefing today, I saw when you gave this book to Dr. Aruma Ote. And in that briefing, obviously, you know of the event that is coming up on the 2nd of November.
Absolutely.
Will you be attending?
Of course. I mean, I've come for that event, and I'm very excited because, having an event like that in a city like London, where we are celebrating African culture, African fashion, African music, is powerful. I mean, the arts on the continent is getting such a big support and has become so mainstream that, for me, it's very exciting.
Okay. So what do you think is the main issue in Africa? If we leave the event now and we go into Africa as a continent and we look at the political space, Kenya just had a very successful election recently. So, and obviously you've been someone who is very high in the PR world, and you've also been involved in some electioneering campaign. Do you think there are things that Africans could learn from Kenya?
So I think, the issue with Africa is leadership. And I think we're going through a transition time on the continent where there's a new crop of leaders coming up. And I'm very excited by what we're seeing already in the very short period that we've had the new administration, and they seem like very keen to change a lot, especially for the youth and for the young people in Kenya. But Africa's a young continent. We have a very young population all over the continent, and I know Nigeria is about to have their election in a few months, right?
Yes, in February. So now you mentioned Nigeria. Do you know any of the contestants, or what's your view about the upcoming election in Nigeria?
I don't know any of them personally, but I follow politics in Nigeria very closely, because I think what happens in Nigeria will affect the rest of the continent. Yeah. Nigeria used to have the pride of place, as one of the leading countries in Africa, and it's definitely lost that. And so I'm very keen to see that the next leadership in Nigeria will be able to regain that.
Okay, but are you aware that in this election it appears to be a 3-horse race election in Nigeria?
Yes, definitely. I've been following it closely.
Now, assuming you had what we call in Nigeria PVC,
yes.
So who would you be voting for?
That's a tough question because I don't live there, but the person that I admire the most and I think would be the best for Nigeria is Peter Obi.
Peter Obi?
Yes, I think I think he will regain the place that Nigeria has had on the continent. I really respect his view on foreign policy, and also for his care and concern and empathy for the youth of Nigeria. So, I'll be following it, and I really, would hope that Peter Obi makes it as the next president.
Okay, so obviously you would not be voting, but if we have Nigerian viewers now watching us, what will be your message to the young Nigerians back home regarding 2023 presidential elections?
I think my message would be, to ensure that the leadership, the upcoming leadership in Nigeria is vibrant, that there's a sense of urgency, because I really think there is a sense of urgency for the country that is pretty much broken in terms of, corruption, the infrastructure, that they need to vote for the person that will try and fix some of those things. And it won't be done in one term, but at least the start can happen. At least there can be a sense of hope for the young people of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Gina. Thank you very much. It's been a privilege speaking with you today. Thank you for speaking to Njenje Media TV.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.